Hello, I'm Cameronhanashi, an artist and video maker, and recently, between doing drawings for videos, studying Japanese, exploring Tokyo, and just trying to live a fulfilling life as best as I can, I've been feeling the urge to just draw. Not for anything in particular, but just to draw and post online for fun. I felt nostalgic for those older days where I would follow artists online and aspire to be like them, whether that be through drawing fan art, OCs, diary sketches, life drawings, just anything to actually enjoy the hobby of drawing without specifically tying it into the need to be productive and being able to share that online with other people. And if you're watching this video, you probably have some similar thoughts, so I want to give some advice on all of that. Now, in the past, I have spoken about social media apps specifically for artists, but today I also want to focus a bit on just general advice for people that may be wanting to get into posting art online and my own journey with it. Speaking of which, I have been posting art consistently online since about 2020, when I started university. I posted art online before then with drawings and videos and stuff like that, but never in the form of a dedicated account for it. My Instagram has been the longest place I've been active online, but aside from that, I've had experience using almost all the platforms I'll talk about today. So my technical oldest drawing on the internet is actually this ugly burger from a video I made back in 2012, which I've redrawn since, but aside from that, my oldest drawings online that aren't in a video are actually from my Tumblr account, which I made in 2018, but didn't really post to consistently until recently. That brings me to a point I want to bring up. My online art posting history goes back about 6 years, if we count posting consistently, and 7 years if we're just talking in general. I really wish in hindsight that I started posting online sooner. Whenever I find an artist I like, I love going through their art as far back as I can go to see how their skills and style evolved. The subject of what they drew also changed as they changed. You really get to see the growth of the person and their art together, which I think is really cool. I didn't start posting art online until university, mainly because I wasn't confident. I always thought, once I get into art school, I'll be good enough to post, but that mentality just really held me back. Or I thought it would be cringe to post bad art, but who cares about that looking back in hindsight? Now, years later, after moving around the country and overseas and having hard drives die, I wish I posted art sooner because in addition to seeing more of my growth, I would have been able to preserve much more of my art which I no longer have access to. So that brings me to my next point. I want to talk about what my goals are when posting art online and what I look for in a place to post. Now, this may be different for everyone, but this is just for me at least. So first of all, I want somewhere primarily for posting images. I know it's kind of a dead medium in 2026, but I want to separate my enjoyment of drawing fan art, OCs, environments, and everything else distinct from video editing, drawings for YouTube, videos, or content creation of any kind. So that means no TikTok, no Instagram Reels, no streaming sites, and no YouTube. Next, since I'm focusing on art, I want somewhere I can see all of my images in a gallery or archive kind of format, so I can easily go from my latest posts all the way to my oldest ones. And then, as I mentioned earlier, I want somewhere where I can build up a large history of artwork, like at least 15 years plus. So somewhere stable and unlikely to suffer an exodus of users or shutting down, and where the images will mostly remain intact. Now that's the hardest one to judge because the internet's so volatile, but I'll try and do my best. So let's start with the biggest platforms. First of all, Instagram. It's the image sharing site. Well, not really. It's no secret that Instagram is far from an image sharing social media anymore. The name of the game here is most certainly Reels, and well, I hate making Reels. Especially for artists or illustrators, the main Reel format tends to just devolve into trends of people begging for followers. I get that it's mainly younger people doing this, but I don't know, I just get really tired of that, and it makes the whole thing less about having fun and enjoying art, and more so just trend chasing and being like an avid content creator. Instagram though, flat out, if you want to find any form of growth, you have to post Reels. But even then, in my years of posting Instagram, I found that reach has gotten worse and worse even if you do post Reels. Hashtags are useless now, and the default Instagram feed is full of ads and people you don't follow, so even if you have followers, they're most likely not going to see your posts. You really do have to kind of pay to win with this platform. Stories are the most reliable thing to post to Instagram that will get eyes on your work, but they only last 24 hours and don't really grow an audience at all. It's weird, I've found recently that Instagram has become less of a social media platform to grow an audience on, and more of just what Facebook used to be. Kind of ironic since they're both owned by the same company. Whenever I meet someone IRL and we want to connect online, the go-to is usually Instagram. But like, I myself don't really use Instagram much, at least not to view art or find creators I like. It's mainly just become somewhere my parents will send me reels and just a way to keep in contact with people I know. Kind of like what Facebook was, you just kind of have it for the sake of having it. Although Instagram isn't all bad, its main pros is that it has the clean layout of all your pictures and you can pretty easily scroll all the way back to the beginning. Granted, there's no way to sort by oldest first or anything, so you do have to scroll all the way down, but you can separate any videos you post to a separate Reels tab if you do want to make them. But overall, with Instagram, it's not really the best place to start posting art or use as your main base. It's a situation where the big people get bigger. I'd say it's still worth having as a side thing if you'd like though. As I said, people tend to ask for Instagram first, and for me, it's the place I've been posting longest. But it's very similar to the next platform we'll talk about in how you need to have a pre-established audience to really get anywhere. Which brings us to Twitter. Whoops, I'm an X. No, it's Twitter. Everyone still calls it Twitter. Twitter is still kind of seen as one of the big platforms for internet artists, but it is far and away, unequivocally, one of the worst places to try and be an artist online. There are practically no redeeming qualities, like, at all. There is no easy way to see a separate gallery for art. The media tab of posts only goes back so far before images and tweets will stop appearing or loading properly. There's a built-in button for anybody to make AI-generated edits of any picture you post. The site is filled with bots and the most hateful, spiteful, rage-inducing lowlifes on Earth. And you're probably not going to grow a following there anyway. People who have audiences complain that they still get the best numbers on Twitter compared to other platforms, but the reality is most of those numbers are probably inflated by bots, or not even real people that are properly engaging with it. I used to say that redeeming quality was that it was the best way to engage with other artists directly, especially those from different regions, but after every change there's a bigger exodus of artists from Twitter, so it's just becoming more and more of a ghost town, and it's definitely the worst platform we'll talk about today. Next is Twitter's replacement. There were a lot of sites trying to fill that role, but Bluesky seems to have come out as the winner. And if you want that microblogging experience that Twitter had with the ability to post art, interact with lots of other artists, then Bluesky is probably the best place for that. It's grown to have a big user base and is overall a really good experience to use. The biggest complaints I've seen about it is that it's too boring, but like, okay, I don't want to get addicted to social media, so I don't see that as a negative. It still has the same issues when it comes to posting art that Twitter originally had, with how it doesn't have a dedicated gallery page or anything, just a media tab, and because it's still pretty new, nobody really knows how much staying power it will have, so it can't quite meet that desire I have of somewhere safe to post art for potential decades. Then another site in that microblogging sphere is Tumblr. Tumblr has mostly been seen as dead since 2019 or so, but in my experience it's still really active and I've had some of the most success there. Granted, it's mainly best for fan art, since it's where fandoms still really thrive, but its real strength is its customizability and blog format. You can make your blog look any way you want, and it has a separate built-in archive showing all your posts chronologically in a gallery format with filters to use as well, which is like perfect. I've just gone with a pretty simple blog layout for myself, but you can really go wild with it with CSS editing and stuff like that, and it's been around for a long time. Chances are, if you're a fan of an artist who's been posting online for a decent amount of time, they probably got a lot of that growth from Tumblr. Yes, it is certainly much quieter these days, but more people have come back to it, and it's still chugging away. I'm not sure how secure it will be in the future though, since I believe they feed images into an AI database as well, but only time will tell. Let's now take a look at a bit of a different one in Pixiv. I have used Pixiv a bit, and it's a platform pretty much entirely dedicated to art, and it's much more popular in Asian countries, especially Japan. It may seem a bit daunting at first, especially since a lot of the default things that pop up tend to be, well, more of an acquired taste, let's say, but I would say it's decent to use. It has a simple grid layout for images similar to Instagram, and since a lot of people post their own doujinshis here, there's also a separate tab for manga, which is cool. For growth, it's kind of middle of the pack. I haven't had anything do super well on here, and the tagging system is a bit odd, but that's also bound to happen naturally when the audience is split much more across different languages. The same goes for interacting with other artists. People don't really tend to leave comments much on here, at least from what I've noticed, because it's kind of more of a showcase site rather than a social media or community-based site. but overall I quite like Pixiv, especially as someone who looks at a lot of Japanese artists. In a similar boat is Cara. Cara is one of the many sites people fled to from Twitter and Instagram a few years back, and it seems to still be doing okay. I've never really used it much, but on my video last year I got a lot of comments saying to check it out, so I thought I would talk about it. In function, it's like a mix of Instagram and Twitter. It has a feed with microblogging posts, as well as a dedicated gallery page that lays out your art in a similar way to Instagram, but unlike those platforms, the main focus here is art. It is definitely smaller, and you're probably not going to grow an audience much beyond other artists, which may make trying to get things like commissions a bit more difficult, if that's what you are aiming towards. But I'm sure there's a really good tight-knit community here that would be worth becoming a part of. However, it is still in beta technically, so similar to Bluesky, its future is much more up in the air since it's not as well established yet. Both Cara and Pixiv to me fill a similar niche to what DeviantArt and ArtStation used to. They both were much more prominent in the online art scene for fandom-related art and professional level art respectively, but have mostly died down a lot more now due to them vehemently supporting AI, so naturally and appropriately people have left. And then we have some more unconventional places to post art, and these two sites fall into a similar category for me, Discord and Reddit. Now, I've of course used Discord plenty, but solely as a means of communication. I've never really been one to be involved in big public Discord servers where people do post their art. I just hang out with friends to talk and play games together, and that is the main purpose of Discord. So while yes, there are a lot of dedicated servers to art and fandoms, there's no way to see all the art someone has posted. There's no gallery or anything, and you can't build a following. It's for messaging. Reddit is the same. It's a forum first and foremost. So while yes, I have had some really good results from posting fan art in their respective relevant series subreddits, these platforms work best as a way to funnel people into your other social media platforms. But still pretty good to use here and there. And the last one I want to talk about is Neocities. Neocities is a website hosting service, which means you have to make your website yourself by coding using HTML and CSS. Scary, I know. Now, it is more disconnected from general social media since there is no algorithm and you can be entirely disconnected from other sites if you want to. But on the other hand, it is the most freeing place to post art online since you control everything. Neocities is based on an older similar service called GeoCities from the 2000s, and Neocities itself has been around since 2013, so it's already been around for over a decade and is very stable. Plus, because you've made it yourself, you can save all the files offline. So even if Neocities does shut down in the future, you can put it all up elsewhere, and everything remains preserved. So it ticks every box in what I'm looking for, aside from the interaction elements, which are still there, but just vastly toned down compared to other sites. I personally don't have much experience using it, but I'm trying to learn HTML and CSS so I can make my own site. Hopefully soon, but it is a bit difficult, and that kind of thing is entirely out of my ballpark, so it does take more initial investment. But overall, posting to your own dedicated site, whether it's through something like this or even like a Squarespace kind of thing, will always be the best place to post art online, like just always. Personally, I've been bouncing between a few. At the moment, I've been using Bluesky just as my base, where I'm most active since it's where I can interact with people most. And then I'm also posting to Tumblr because of the archive feature. And I also still post to Instagram mainly just for the sake of consistency since I've been using it the longest, just as a backup and so people don't think I died or something. I do want to eventually get my own Neocities site set up as well, but I'm not sure how long that will take. But that's enough about where to post. The most important part of all of this is that you just get out there, have fun making art, and share it with the world. There's tons of videos online talking about the best way to improve at art, or the best way to become a viral popular artist, or just the one trick you're missing to succeed. In reality, all that matters is that you just get out there and do it. If I posted art online sooner, sure it might have been much worse, or even cringe, but looking back on it years later, I would have had at least some fondness for it. So I only regret not posting sooner and waiting until I was arbitrarily good enough to start. It may seem like you missed the boat on posting online, like it's too late with social media sites fracturing and AI everywhere, but I'm here to tell you that even if you draw something, anything, no matter what it is, you are already infinitely better than all of those losers using AI. There is never a bad time to start drawing and posting art online. Unless like there's a bomb going off or something, like in that case, yeah, get out. Hello again, thank you for watching this video. I know a lot of people kind of struggle with where to post art or the best places to post art, so I wanted to kind of talk through it a little bit at the start of the year, because I feel like that's a pretty good time when people are getting back into it, and I've been into it as well, so it felt appropriate. If you do want to see any of the art in full that I was working on in the videos and the time-lapse, I've posted them all on my main social medias. There'll be a link down below. That's where I put all my art if you are interested in seeing it, so do check that out. And if you want to see more videos from me, or if you just enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment if it was helpful, or any other social media platforms that might be worth using, or if you've gotten into art yourself. And if you want to see more videos, then please feel free to subscribe, because I make a whole bunch of wacky, silly stuff here on this channel. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on another video. Goodbye!